So the other night, I finally got to watch The Crow reboot, remake, whatever you guys want to call it. I wouldn't really call it either of those things because it's a completely different story than the original. Obviously, everyone knows what happened with Brandon Lee. It was a big tragedy back in the day, and I still really enjoy the original. I think it is a good action movie. It's very cheesy. It's on the nose. It knows what kind of movie it wants to be. But the first one, and like character wise and dialogue wise, kind of fell flat for me. And I wasn't really expecting to like the new Crow movie. When the trailers came out, I had no interest in seeing it, but I was willing to give it a chance. But I really enjoyed it. I'm not like a die hard fan of the original, so this getting a remake doesn't really bug me that much, even though it's not a remake. I rather say that than a retelling because people understand the word a bit more. But the story takes a completely different direction here. You get a lot more character development between Eric and his girlfriend, and it's just way more fleshed out than the original. It's definitely longer, but I think it was worth it. It does come at a price. There isn't a lot of action, but the action you do get is worth it, and it's really entertaining. Very bloody. Some kills in here that I have never seen in a movie before, and I thought the acting was good. I thought Bill Skarsgård did a great job. I think his wife did a great, or his girlfriend did a great job. They had a good chemistry, and you get a lot of time to spend with them before shit hits the fan. And it just makes the third act even better, and there's a lot at stake. And I think the ending of this movie is really good, and I think the ending is a very important piece to the puzzle when it comes to movies. And it's very, it's just different than the first one, and it has its own badass moments. It doesn't take anything away from the first one. It doesn't try to rip it off. It really does feel like its own movie, and I think a lot of people aren't giving it that credit. I don't even think the majority of people have seen this. They just don't want to watch it, and they're already calling it bad. But like, if you haven't watched it, you can't really call it bad yet. So that's kind of annoying. I wish people would give it more of a chance. Like I said, I liked the original, but I didn't grow up in that era, and I can see why it's a masterpiece to some people. But to me, it was a pretty good movie. I liked the vibes more than the characters themselves. Obviously, badass moments, but I think people should be a little bit more open to the remake version just because it offers more than the original, and it's worth. I think they did a good job remaking it, and it was worth it. It felt like they expanded on it more, and it has its own moments. Doesn't take anything from the original and copy and pasted it. They just do their own thing and made up their own ideas and made up their own villains. It's not just a bunch of robbers this time, and I just think it was, in a way, it was better done. The cinematography is amazing. The soundtrack to the movie I really liked, and overall I was just blown away at how much I liked it. If you are not wanting to give this movie a chance, I would suggest it, because the same people saying this movie sucked are calling Deadpool and Wolverine a masterpiece, and that's just kind of annoying because it is not. I'm not calling this movie a masterpiece either, but there's just so many alpha male, badass scenes that we don't get in any movies anymore. And this movie gave me that. There's just so many cool shots of Bill Skarsgård walking around the streets. And this Crow, even though it's the same name, this Crow is not as stealthy as Brandon Lee was. Like, he's not jumping over buildings and shit and trying to be all quiet. He's more of a fucking just guns blazing, walking down the street, I don't give a fuck attitude. And I really liked that. I just thought it was cool. It wasn't anything like the other one. And there isn't anything in here that makes me think that they're ripping off the original. They did a really good job. Overall, I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. Could have used a bit more action. There is a lot of build up, but the ending and the payoff is definitely worth it. Thank you guys for watching the review, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace out.